Hello and welcome to Stories, the True and the Fictional, the Indie Author Podcast supporting indie authors from all around the world. This episode is brought to you by Rebecca Kearsells of the Rising Dawn series. You too can become a sponsor by heading on over to buymeacoffee.com/STTATF or follow the link in the show notes. And now, let's get into the show. Warning. Listening to this episode may cause your TBRs to grow in size.
Hello guys and welcome to a brand new episode of Stories, the True and the Fictional, the indie author podcast supporting indie authors from all around the world. I am one of your hosts, Jay Bryden. With me always is our resident reader, Ryan. How we going, Ryan?
Good, living the dream, man. Living the dream. It's been a really good week this week in terms of everything I'm doing. So I went and saw the new Guy Ritchie film, In the Grey.
Ooh, was it good?
Last Sunday. It was phenomenal, as I expected it to be great, and it was. Didn't disappoint. Henry Cavill, man, that guy just gets better looking with age, seriously. And he gets to play himself, essentially. So his own accent. He doesn't have to put on an American accent. Jake Gyllenhaal, for me, he's hit and miss, and this was a really good hit for him. His character was great, and for once, all the best bits weren't in the trailer, so it was a really good movie. I am going to see tomorrow. I'm going to see a horror movie called Passenger, which I'm really excited to see. So that's going to be pretty good. I'll let you guys know how that went next week. In terms of games, I got. When we went to my dad's place and got rid of some stuff, he had a really big Samsung curved monitor. So I brought that home and I'm playing a few games on the computer. So I'm playing this game I really wanted to get on PS5 when it came out, but it came out about a month ago. It's called Pragmata. It's by Capcom, who do Resident Evil, so I knew the gameplay was going to be good. The story is amazing. It's about it's set in the future where the moon is industrialized, I should say, and this company, the Delphi Corporation, has literally found a new element called lunament or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But basically, it replicates anything. So they built a really big, freaking huge planet-sized 3D printer. And that they literally 3D print everything. That's how they produce androids. That's how they produce everything. And as you can imagine, with everything with AI and androids, the androids turn on their masters, and you're part of a crew that goes up to essentially find out why no one's responding on the moon. And without spoiling it, your character finds, and this is not spoiling because it's all over the promotion, finds a little girl AI Pragmata. So Pragmata is essentially an AI robot. Her name is Diana, and you have to essentially find a way to get home, while all these huge android robots that constantly get reprinted trying to attack you. So it is really, really good. I played the demo on Switch when the demo came out. It was amazing. The game is better. So if you're into sci-fi, if you love the Resident Evil mechanics in terms of game, check out Pragmata. It's on everything. It's on Steam. It's on Switch, PlayStation, Xbox. Check it out. I finished Daredevil Born Again season 2. It was, again, absolutely amazing. The Kingpin, seriously.
That finale. Whew.
The season, in the finale, where he's just pounded through a whole bunch of guys and just literally it shows the strength of Kingpin from the comics. Vincent D'Onofrio is an amazing Kingpin. There's several things that happened in this season that I was just like, that is Wilson Fisk to the T. It was really good to see, some of the Netflix characters coming back. Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. It was really good. to see that happen. But yeah, overall, a solid second season. Really looking forward to season 3. I think to me, the standout character was definitely Bullseye.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the Bullseye we were going to get in season 4 of Daredevil and Netflix if it wasn't cancelled. That very first episode, the end of the episode with the knife that had carved on it, welcome, and had the little bullseye symbol, just says Bullseye all over. So I was very, 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 very impressed with Daredevil season 2 of Born Again. Really good watch. I was able to get through it quite quickly. I watched 2 episodes a day for 4 days and finished it. So very, very good show.
Cool. Well, guys, we're about to dive into an episode with Luke K. Wilson. The K is there for a reason because he is not the brother of Owen Wilson.
Yeah. So
how did you think it went, Ryan?
I think it went really well. He's a sci-fi writer. Essentially, I believe we're all around the same age. We all grew up playing the same kind of games, so we had a big chat about that. We had a chat about, his favourite TV shows, and of course his 2 books, Icewind and Falcata. They're both quite big, and we were talked about, the differences between novellas and novels and who they're kind of catered to. We talked all about the world of Falcata, which, he's planning on expanding in the future. And, he's a really, really great guy from Ohio. And,
Yeah, and he's one of the first guests to ask to play another round of story pitch, so I think he really, really enjoyed it.
Definitely. And he was really good at it too. He took a little bit of time to think, like maybe a couple of minutes, and then bang, he was off to the races.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Well, before we jump in, remember to check out our sponsors, Rebecca Castle, our honorary sponsors, Janelle Schiecke and Alexander Robb. All their links are down below there. Great authors, great people. Buy some merch. Get yourself a mug. A wonderful Stories, the True and the Fictional mug. Ryan's shirt has a brand new design, and all that's down.
Selling like hotcakes if hotcakes were not selling at all. So buy it.
yeah. Support the show that's supporting the indie authors, guys. And if you want to join our Discord, where we are primarily organising and scheduling all our multi-author episodes, reach out. Whether it's be through the thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com or on the socials, we'll give you the link and jump in there and have a lot of fun. I think that's everything I had to say. So, without further ado, let's go talk to Luke K. Wilson. Luke K. Wilson, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Thank you for having me on.
And a lot of people may be tuning in realizing that, wait, this isn't Owen Wilson's brother. Do you have a message for them, or...
Yeah, in the movie Office Space, when you got Michael Bolton, and he's like, why should I change? He's the one who sucks. So unfortunately, I don't have to say that because Luke Wilson is actually a funny guy. So I think it's pretty good. Get that
he is underrated. I loved him in, I think it was the Jackie Chan Around the World in 80 Days. And Owen Wilson and Luke Wilson play the Wright brothers. It was just perfect.
It's actually really good in a little known, well, not little known, but one of the CW DC verse in Stargirl. He plays her stepfather, who essentially is was an old superhero called Stripesy back in the day, and he helped mentor her and goes on all the adventures and stuff. That was actually, not many people watch that series, but I watched it on a whim and I actually like it. I bought both seasons on Blu-ray. It's quite good.
Mm-hmm. I think Idiocracy is probably my favorite movie.
Yeah,
it gets better every time you watch it.
Yeah.
Anyway, this isn't that Luke Wilson podcast. This is this Luke Wilson podcast. So just so we can differentiate between them, who is this Luke Wilson?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a multi-million-dollar acting career. But so I'm just a normal guy who lives in Northeast Ohio who likes to write science fiction. I've got my family. I've got 3 kids. And in my free time, I like to do a lot of cold weather oriented stuff. I'm a winter mountaineer. I like to ski a lot. And when I'm not working, I'm spending time with my family, or I'm writing these crazy science fiction books. So uh, yeah, or I'm spending the day at the lake in the summertime. So yeah, that's this Luke
Excellent.
Wilson.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're going to get to know you a lot more and probably have people buy your books, because this is why we do icebreaker questions, because people get to know you and then they go, "Oh, I like that guy. I'm going to buy his work."
Okay.
Ryan is basically our proof of that. 9 times out of 10, he will buy the author's books while we're recording. So, let's see if that happens today. Are you going this time, Ryan? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I'll go first this time. Okay, so question number 1. Who is your favorite dynamic duo? So like Batman and Robin. We had Timon and Pumbaa on the last episode. For the older listeners, Abbott and Costello, Laurel and Hardy, those kind of things. So who is your favorite dynamic duo?
Yeah, I thought about this one long and hard. I think I got to go with Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber, actually.
Yep. I can agree with that. Very, very good.
That's an awesome movie. It's one of my favorites.
Did you watch the sequel?
I did not.
I haven't watched it either.
I love the original so much. I'm like, why did they make a sequel? And I have no interest in seeing it.
Money.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yes. So,
Excellent.
I mean, from what I've heard about it, it seems like I made the right choice by not watching it.
Yes, that goes the same with Zoolander.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
The only good thing about Zoolander 2 is watching Justin Bieber get riddled with an Uzi. That's how it opened, pretty much. But
Yeah, that was Zoolander was one of my favorite movies when I was in my teenage years. And I remember being super excited to see the sequel, and it was just a massive letdown.
yeah,
Unfortunately, definitely suffered from the sequelitis.
yeah, but it's also the late sequel. It's like it either hits or it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because I liked Zombieland 2, and that was like 10, 15 years later. A late sequel.
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick worked.
Yes, that was really good. A lot of people, you might not have seen this, Jamie, but one of my favorite movies again when I was a lot younger was Coming to America with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
And the sequel came out, I think, probably about 15 years later, and that one was really, really good. I really enjoyed that. So, but yeah, Zoolander, no. Massive letdown.
All right. Question number 2. What is something on your bucket list?
Well, like everybody else, I have places I want to travel to. I've got, things I want to do, but like something specific that I definitely want to do is climb Denali in Alaska. And there's a specific route that I want to do too. So, but yeah, I mean, like I've lived in Alaska. I've got mountaineering experience. I love to do that kind of thing, and that's always been something that I really want to do. So,
I think that's for someone like yourself who is a mountaineer, and you're not, not whereabouts in the States are you?
So I live in Ohio right now, probably the flattest state in the country.
Well,
yeah,
you're closer to Alaska than what we are. So, given that you are a mountaineer and you are closer to Alaska than we are, I like those bucket list items that are, semi-achievable. You could go to Alaska and do it because you've got the training. Obviously, there will be a lot of preparation going into it and everything like that. But, you get people who are like, oh, I want my bucket list. I want to travel to the moon, or I want to, do crazy stuff like, for me, something on my bucket list would be I want to write a book, and I can't because I cannot. I don't have the attention span. I've tried multiple times. I'm not nearly as focused as you guys, but I like it when people have semi-achievable things on their bucket list.
Well, I mean, you don't have to be insane to write a book, but it certainly helps. So, yeah.
I figure my contribution to the indie author scene, aside from this podcast, is the money I spend on the books. And I actually don't just buy the books and put them aside. I actually read for 3 to 4 hours every night. So I get through the books. So I'm reading, I'm reviewing, I'm supporting. That's about as far as I can go. I tried writing. I can't even write a short story. I've tried. I just don't have the attention span for it. Yeah, my hat's off to you guys because after reading the amount of I think I've up to 19 indie books so far this year, and they've all been absolutely brilliant. So I could never do something like that.
Yeah.
And if you want evidence for that, folks, check out the Goodreads page because I can't keep track of all these reviews. Ryan keeps going.
I remember in December when I was in Newcastle because my dad was in hospital up there, and there's not much to do when you're sitting in a hospital room for 8 hours. So I was just reading. I read on my phone, and I remember we did an episode when I was up there, and James like, how many books have you read in this month so far? Because I logged into the email and I keep getting all these, Ryan's finished this book, Ryan's finished this book, finished this book, finished this book. Like, I love reading, man. Like, seriously. I put a request out for ARC. Like if anyone wanted me to be an ARC reader on our Discord channel the other day, and I thought maybe I'll get 1 or 2. I now have 8 books that I need to read.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my wife, and she said, you need to put a post up there and say, okay, that's enough. You don't want to overcommit. But I love it. I'd much rather have more books to read than not have enough. So, and they're all fantasy too, which means they're all like 400 or 500 page books. So it's gonna keep me busy for quite a while.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on to question number 3. Jamie, do you want to bring the picture up?
It's a coming.
So I'm sure you're familiar with this landmark in your wonderful country.
Yeah.
So for those playing at home who are not familiar with this is Mount Rushmore, 4 very influential presidents at the time of when it was made. So given that that's what this is, what are your top 4 TV shows? Can be from any era, any genre, can be animated, can be, live action, but 4 TV shows that you think would belong on your Mount Rushmore of television shows.
Okay. Well, first one's going to be The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep. Then we're going
Have you played the games, Luke?
I have not actually played the game. It's on my to-do list. So,
okay.
I thought season 1 was like some of the best TV I've ever watched. I didn't think season 2 was quite as good, but I still really enjoyed it. But yeah, I liked it so much that I'm definitely going to go play the games here, hopefully next month or 2. So,
well, season 2 kind of differentiates from the game quite a bit.
Yeah.
The first season was like the opening scene of the first season where everything sort of happens, and
like
just
verbatim.
before the time jump is literally scene for scene from the game, because I just finished the game for my 3rd time, I think, when the season started, and I was like, wow, that is literally shot for shot. I really enjoyed the first season. I'm the same as you. I liked the second season. It definitely wasn't as good as the first season. But I can definitely agree with that. That's a really, really, really good show. And if you're going to play the games, they're definitely much better than the show too. So you're in for a ride.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. And number 2, it's going to be multiple shows that I can't really separate. So I'm just going to wrap them all up in one, but it's going to be Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon,
All right.
Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I kind of view it all as one big continuum, and
Yeah.
yeah, I read all the books before I saw the shows, so I kind of knew I wanted to read the books before I watched the shows, but fantastic.
Mhm.
We won't talk about the last couple seasons in Game of Thrones, but
That's what everyone says.
yeah.
I have a question, Luke, about the books because I like Game of Thrones a lot. I never really got into House of Dragon, and we haven't started. My wife absolutely loves it, but the books I've heard, I'm a little bit intimidated by because I've heard they are quite quite a you have to be into that kind of story because George R. Martin is a very unique writer. He has his own style, and it can be quite intimidating to get into. Is that what you found?
Um, no, not for me personally, because I like to read classics. So like some of my favorite science fiction books were from like, the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and some of them are far more dense than some of the writers that write nowadays. I thought that George R. R. Martin was actually quite easy to read.
Okay.
Um, his books are pretty huge, but I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't think that they were, once you start reading, you get so engrossed in the story that it's not even a problem. I
Okay.
do think he's probably one of the best writers in our today. I think that's probably a given. He's a fantastic writer. So no, I didn't find him intimidating. No.
Okay. Well, you've sold me.
He's just not good at finishing things, I heard.
Yeah, that's unfortunately true. Yeah. Well,
But my joke is, oh, he'll just die and get Brandon Sanderson to finish it for him.
yeah. And then they'll find a way to have him write a lot more books in his name.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, what's your next one?
All right, so number three, probably gonna go with Castlevania, the anime.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Yep.
and
Yep.
this one, like, I just discovered it recently when I had surgery. I was bored, so I was scrolling through Netflix and I saw it and I started. I watched the whole season in one day. Like, it was fantastic. I really like it, so it was great.
My
And
my only complaint of Castlevania is 3 episodes a season. Really, I need more. I need
yeah,
more Castlevania. It is so good. I grew up on the Castlevania games. Back even when on the Game Boy and Super Nintendo, all the way up to now, and that series. Our mutual friend Chris put me onto it when it first came out, and I need more. It's just so good.
that is incredible. Yeah, I mean, I love fantasy, but I've never really kind of dabbled too much in dark fantasy.
Hmm.
That was awesome. I loved it, so I'm probably gonna read some more dark fantasy now after watching it.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then my last one, Shogun.
Yep.
Uh, incredible. I loved it, and I'm super excited about the next season coming up. So,
Have you
yeah.
being that you do like a bit of fantasy and a bit of dark fantasy, have you watched the Dragon's Dogma anime on Netflix?
I have not
That
actually.
is really good. I think it's only one season at the moment. Came out a few years ago. That is obviously based on the games. I've never played the games, but
Missing out.
apparently it's supposed to be really accurate to the games as well. So I love that. It's got everything you need from a hero's journey, and it is very, very dark.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you like Castlevania, and you do like a bit of dark fantasy, I definitely think you'll like that. It's only one season. Um, I find that the anime that's coming out lately on Netflix has been top notch. I love one of my favorite game series is Devil May Cry, and I've watched the first season of Devil May Cry anime on Netflix, and the second season just dropped in the last week and a half, and I've watched that as well, and that is phenomenal,
Okay.
phenomenal. So Netflix they're on the ball with the anime lately. So
Mhm.
It's almost
Yeah,
like people
definitely.
like it.
I know,
Okay.
right? Don't say that too loudly because then they'll find out that we like it, then they'll cancel it.
No, no, we already know that they can't handle long seasons, you know? So
Yeah.
like they'll go like, what, you want 17,000 episodes of this, like One Piece? No, 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 we can't do that.
They have been putting the anime One Piece up on Netflix, but very slowly.
Well, they can't keep up.
Uh, exactly, exactly. But a lot of the two of the most pivotal animes that have ever come out, in my opinion, Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia are both finished this year too. So maybe now that they're finished, we can get them on Netflix or something. Because I hate having I've actually cut down on my streaming services because
Mm,
I had so many that I just wasn't watching, and
yeah.
Crunchyroll unfortunately had to go because I just wasn't watching enough anime. But hopefully Netflix can pick those two up now that they're finished.
Mm, cool. All right, moving on to question number 4. Dr. Emmett Brown leaves his DeLorean parked in your driveway. Where/when are you going?
This one was a tough one. So if I had to pick anywhere, um, they would probably be Madison Square Garden in 1973 to see Jimmy Page perform with Led Zeppelin.
Nice,
Oh, nice.
nice.
So, I've always been a Led Zeppelin fan, and they were around for such a brief window of time. And I think Jimmy Page is easily the best guitarist to have ever lived. So, and his influence is still, you know, very felt today. So it would have been amazing to see him actually perform live. So,
100%. I grew up. My dad, he top two bands. One's an Australian band, and one is Led Zeppelin. So I grew up on Led Zeppelin, and Dad would have their records on when I was younger, and then CDs later in life, and 100%. Like Jimmy Page is, he gets talked about a lot, but he doesn't get talked about enough in terms of being the greatest, one of the
oh
greatest
yeah,
guitarists of all time.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
when Slash, Eddie Van Halen, and Kirk Hammett all cite you as like a defining influence, I mean, you're kind of a big deal. So,
exactly,
Yeah.
uh,
exactly.
Now, would you slip in the back of the venue and just watch at the back, or would you just go right down the
I'd be in the front row.
front row, just
Like,
on the
yeah.
stage?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
Nice.
for
I
sure.
think you could probably incorporate with them having the DeLorean literally arrive on the side of the stage and just across the middle of it, and have Jimmy Page standing on top of it, and then Robert Plant, the rest of the guys just standing around it, and I think that'd be an epic
Yeah,
stage show.
don't threaten me with a good time. So,
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. Yeah, that was
yeah.
one band I was disappointed I never got to see. My dad got to see them a couple of times when they came out here when he was younger. But with the resurgence, because me and Jamie, our backgrounds, we were both in bands for quite a long time. I was in my band for 20 years, and Jamie was in a few bands with a few different people for quite a while. So, as musicians, we can appreciate that. But with the resurgence over the last 10 years of, these older bands coming back to play shows, like I got to see Rage Against the Machine, I got to see, a couple, AC/DC, which is, a big Australian band. My dad's other favorite band was Cold Chisel. They were,
Jimmy
quite big.
Barnes.
Yeah, Jimmy Barnes in the Australian scene when he was growing up, and we got to go to all those shows together, um, because it was music that my dad grew up and saw where the bands were younger, and then
Hmm.
it's music that I grew up on but never got to see the bands. But then the bands started coming back, and
Yeah.
we got to go to a whole bunch of shows together. That was one good thing about the resurgence of all these bands, even though they're super old, they can still rock out.
Oh yeah,
Well,
they're living the dream. They're still rocking.
well,
So
last I heard,
Exactly.
last I heard, AC/DC aren't doing well Like someone showed a video from their show, and they're like, they are so old, they should not be on stage. like,
Yeah,
like
but
even
you know what? Like, I recently saw a movie because I go to the movies once a week, and I can't remember what movie it was, but I definitely saw it in the last 3 months, and it had two AC/DC songs in it,
yeah,
and it was a recent movie, and they all their movies, all their music still gets used to this
yeah,
day. You know, say I'm just guessing, but maybe 40 years after some of it was written.
yeah,
And just look at Iron Man 2. I mean, that was pretty much
yeah.
all
Well,
AC/DC.
even Iron Man 1, all the Avengers, like that was Tony Stark's theme song, you know.
Exactly, exactly.
And to this day, I still say that the singer from AC/DC sounds like Donald Duck. I just, I just,
Are you
I
talking about Bon Scott or Brian Johnson?
I don't know, the one that goes Thunderswag. I don't. I did because I had a mate probably 20 years ago, and he was like, I love ACC. I've got tickets to the Friday night show and the Sunday night show. I'm gonna go. And then we were at work, and I'm going like, it is pretty. The last thing I said to him was, it's pretty funny that this singer sounds like Donald Duck. And then come Monday, he just walked up to me and punched me in the arm because all he could see was Donald Duck, and it ruined the show for him.
Definitely had. They both definitely had very unique voices. I'll give
Yeah,
you that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could talk about music all day, but it's not the music podcast. It's the other Luke Wilson podcast. We'll bring it home with the last question. Now, this one is a question that we kind of inherited from another podcast, I believe was called Mirthquake.
Yeah.
That Jamie found, and one of our Discord members, fans on Discord, suggested that we keep it going. So the question actually is, hot air balloon or janky sub? I like to call this question, how would you like to die? Because would you rather be on a homemade hot air balloon or a really rundown
Well, it's a
homemade
homemade sub.
homemade submarine?
It's funny that you mentioned that because that's exactly how I took that question. How would you like to die?
Yeah,
Um,
I say that all the
so-
time. Essentially, would you rather die from falling to your death, or would you rather die quickly from,
Implosion.
implosion?
Well, I mean, one of them's pretty instantaneous, and the other one is at least a little fun. I mean, so I mean, I would pick the hot air balloon. I mean, you get good views, and if the balloon totally, kicks the bucket and you end up dying, at least you have a little bit of fun right there in your last minutes minutes of
Okay.
life. And if you're in a submarine, you can't really see anything down in the bottom of the ocean, and who knows what's down there. So
Yeah,
I'm partial to the hot air balloon, I think.
there you go.
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way because I'm a sub guy because I would want to die instantaneously. Like just but like if you're in a hot air balloon and something goes wrong, depending on what it is, the quickest you're going to die is probably say a minute because you're going to fall out. Say for example, you fall out of the hot air balloon because the basket's made out of like cardboard or something. You're going to fall and you can see the ground coming, and you're like, I'm
Well,
going to die.
the fall never kills anybody. It's the sudden stop, though.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, at least you get to enjoy the view as it's coming into, as you're about to just go.
yeah. So I guess that's pretty instantaneous too. So I guess they're both that way. So
Yeah.
There's an old joke from I remember from primary school where they said how do you fall 70 stories and survive? Well, you jump off a 72-story building and you fall for 70 stories and you just don't survive in a second.
I like that. I like that.
So hot air balloon is now in the winning.
So is it 3-2 or what's
3-2.
Wow. Well, we're going to keep this question going as long as we go. So hopefully we'll, so let's come back to it in like 2 years and see who's actually winning.
Oh,
Because I feel like we've only got a small sample size at the
yeah.
moment.
I mean, it could go either way. We'll tally it up at the end of the year.
All right.
Excellent.
Well, I can tell you the icebreakers have worked. I am literally on my phone buying your book. Speak.
Well, thank you. I
All right,
appreciate that.
Luke, you can leave now. Your job is done. No.
Oh,
You're very welcome. And you know what? It's not easy to find because your name is Luke Wilson.
It's
I know.
K.
Yeah.
Look, you type a K in there.
Yep.
Because
That's
first
the
of
other
all,
reason.
yeah. While Ryan buys your book, let's jump into the next part of the show, and that's me and Ryan being huge comic book fans. We love a good origin story. So, what is your author origin story?
Mm, my author origin story. So I actually started writing, I don't know, my first stories that I wrote, and it might sound a little corny. I don't know if either of you played StarCraft when you were younger.
A
yes,
little bit, a
yes,
little bit.
Okay, so
love
I actually
StarCraft.
started I started writing StarCraft fiction, and I was really, really young back when I was playing StarCraft. But yeah, my first books were actually I wanted to write for Blizzard because they had their StarCraft novels that they ran for like, I don't know, 2 years or something. There's only like three of them that came out in like this brief 6 month window or whatever. Um, yeah, I was like in fifth grade, so that was never gonna work out. But I mean, I've continued to write since then, and I kind of got into like the really dark, like military sci-fi type stuff.
Right.
Um, and then so that's uh I kind of got influenced very heavily by the Halo series, as well as,
Okay.
a lot of first person shooters that really kind of put me into that military sci-fi mode. So, and I continued to write those kinds of stories. So, I did serve in the army, so that kind of furthered it a little bit more. But since then, I've kind of opened up and I've started to kind of write about bigger concept sci-fi. I'm post-apocalyptic, just space opera type sci-fi. So uh,
All right. So I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm still buying your books. Um, so with StarCraft, what did you have a particular race that you would write
oh yeah,
from the
yeah,
perspective
yeah.
of?
So when I first started playing, I loved the Protoss. That was my thing.
Yep.
I played
Yeah.
Protoss all the time. And when I got older, I started to like the Terrans a lot more. When
Mhm.
I was little, I liked aliens and stuff, and I
Mm.
just thought that humans are boring. But I grew older, especially when StarCraft 2 came out, the Terrans were so much
Yep.
more fun.
Oh, they
So
were. Yeah.
yeah, they were fun. I wasn't really a Zerg
So
guy, but
yeah.
but
See,
yeah.
I was the opposite. I was a Zerg guy once. I was super happy, and spoiler alert for like a 30-year-old game, but I was super happy when they converted Kerrigan over to the Zerg and she became the Zerg Queen because she was one of my favorite. Her and Jim Raynor were my two favorite characters in the whole StarCraft game,
Mhm.
and I loved the dynamic that they had. You know, he was still trying to save her even though she was turned into a Zerg. So Jamie, basically the Zerg were like
Yeah.
the Brood in Marvel Comics. They're just
Yeah.
like the Starship Troopers, the bugs.
Yeah.
Um, and the Protoss were kind of like these. I always got a feeling like a benevolent, superior alien species like that. Of you know how you hear about the aliens, they advanced our technology 1,000 years.
Yeah.
That's those guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the
I have
Terran.
played StarCraft back in the day.
Yeah, okay. I've
I,
played, man. That my dad got me into StarCraft, and then when StarCraft 2 came out, I bought him that as well. And we used to play for hours and hours. He'd have his computer in the lounge room, I'd have my computer in the family room, and we just play for hours. It's very rare to meet people that actually like StarCraft. A lot of people love Warcraft, which I do love Warcraft, but StarCraft was my favorite.
Yeah.
I was a sci-fi nerd, like through and through. I mean, I played
Yeah.
Warhammer 40K.
Yeah.
I used to write Warhammer 40K fan fiction. I forgot to mention that just a second
Cool.
ago, but yeah, I was a complete nerd, and I'm not even gonna deny it. I still am a total nerd.
You're
Obviously,
in
Oh,
you're
100%.
you're in good company. You're in good
yeah,
company. Uh,
Yeah, I think we're, and I'm not assuming your age, Luke, at all, but I think we're all in the age group where we remember when being a nerd wasn't cool, and we used to get on.
yeah,
I used to get picked on. I was the true nerd. I was in the library every lunchtime at school reading. I had collected comic books from when I was 8 years old all the way to now, and I'm 44, and I still read comics every day. Um, I played video games all weekend. I had little to no friends in high school. So I literally am the
yeah.
definition of a nerd. And now it's all of a sudden, for the last 10 years, it's been cool to be one of us. And when I was in the band, all my other mates, like, they didn't read comics or books. I'm pretty sure half of them couldn't read. But they would always come to me, oh, I went and saw this Marvel movie. Tell me all about this character. And and then we became gods among
Yeah.
men.
King of the
And
nerds.
and now I'm glad that we live in a world because we're getting so much more good content, in terms of books, in terms of comics, in terms of TV and movies. Um, because a lot more people think, oh wow, being a nerd is actually quite cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't- you know,
I think so.
You're still struggling with the book, right?
I no look because I keep getting distracted by talking about things like StarCraft and and then being a nerd, I just transferring the money over to buy the two books
Oh.
on Amazon. So um
There you go. Well, while he's doing that, I'll bring up let's get into it. I'll bring up one of the covers.
yeah,
Tell us the story behind this. Let's start with the cover. We like to judge books by the covers. Let's face it,
absolutely.
everyone does it. So how did you go about the cover?
Uh,
Was it something you did yourself? Did you hire someone? What's the story behind the cover?
uh, so this is actually the publisher's cover.
Mm,
Um, but they asked me my ideas for what I wanted to put on the cover, and they came back with this, and I really like it actually. This kind of exceeded my expectations, but
Yeah,
um
it looks great.
I have to kind of explain a little bit about the story itself to kind of talk
yep.
about the cover.
Cool.
But
Yeah,
so Falcata is a story of a group of humans that were basically they've been exiled from their homeworld because a race of just enigmatic aliens came and just wiped out their homeworld, and so basically all that's left of their society is contained in this one enormous generation ship that's basically wandering around the galaxy, looking for a new home, essentially. So they're basically at extinction's doorstep, and they're dwindling. Um, and inside that society, they've imposed very strict rule and almost like a military dictatorship to kind of keep everybody in line and everything. So the main character, her name is Lynette, and she's born inside of that society after her homeworld has already fallen. And so she's the third generation inside this arc. And she grows up to kind of and she, and she in a lot of ways kind of questions what's going on, and she makes some very pivotal and monumental decisions, and ends up leading them to salvation essentially. So she's such a pivotal character in the whole book. I wanted her on the cover, but that's essentially what's going on here. So she's got long red hair, and she is a pilot, so I wanted her in a spacesuit, and so yeah, it's just a little bit about the cover. So
Cool. So what would you say some of your inspirations behind the story is?
um, so there's a few of them, but a big one would probably, obviously would be Battlestar Galactica. I mean,
I do get that vibe.
okay.
yes. So Battlestar Galactica was fantastic. Obviously, I love the story, and it's been pretty influential throughout my work. And it also inspired the game Homeworld, which is
Mm.
similar to StarCraft. I don't know if either of you have played that, but I mean, that was one of my favorite games when I was a kid. Loved it. And Ender's Game
Okay.
was actually a huge
Mm.
inspiration to Falcata as well. Um, so,
Okay.
and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my favorite book that I've ever read, which is Down Below Station by C.J. Cherryh, which is a big influence to Falcata as well. So, there's a lot of space
Awesome.
combat, a lot of,
Mm.
you know, yeah, so
No, it definitely looks good. I don't have like my TBR list is primarily horror and fantasy. I don't have enough sci-fi in it. So I do have a few different sci-fi novels. Um, but yeah, this looks really good, really interesting.
thank you.
Um, and like I said, you pretty much grew up playing the same kind of games that I did. As I said, love StarCraft. I'm not a massive sci-fi guy, but when I do like sci-fi, I really like it. Um, I'm not a like I like the original Star Wars. I'm not a massive Star Trek fan or anything like that. But when I find something that I like in sci-fi, I will literally devour it. So I'm really excited to get reading into this book.
Yeah, thank you.
So being sci-fi, how in depth do you are you like a hardcore explain everything sci-fi, or are you more like I guess like the hardcore in-depth explain everything or Star Wars? Let's say like that's the ratio. Like Star Wars is like things just
Well, I
happen,
think I
you know.
I think the best way to describe it is, I've read books where the writer will take a whole 15-page chapter to describe a tree.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
there are writers like that are super, super in depth and will describe every nook and cranny in the room, which is
yeah.
fine. Like I like that as well. Or are you more of a story driven
Mhm.
writer? And I
Yeah.
know that sounds silly because you're writing a story, but in terms of your writing, are you more focused on I want to tell a good story. I'm not going to waste too much time describing every little thing in the room.
Yeah.
So, I get what you're saying. I think I'm kind of right in the middle of that spectrum.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know, like, I definitely want to write a good story, uh, but some of my settings are so just bizarre and
Mm.
out there
Mhm.
that I really have to take the time to describe what's
Yeah.
going on and just really set up that setting. So um, I don't spend 15
Yeah.
pages to describe a
Yeah.
tree.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, there are no trees in Falcata at all. It is 100% in space. So
You remove that problem.
yes, I did. But yeah, I do have to take the time to kind of set the scene and
Yeah.
describe what it looks like and everything like that. But yes, I'm all about the story.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with either writing style because, like, I recently read a horror book that was actually when I look horror is normally, and I say this for movies and books and everything. Like, I can know a horror movie is going to be good if it goes no longer than an hour and 42 minutes because horror does you don't need 3 hours to tell a good horror story because it's essentially the guts are all the same. But I've said it before; they fit into five different types of horror movies, and that's it. And in saying that, a horror book generally is about the longest one I've read is say 250 pages. Um, so there was a horror book I recently read, and I opened it, and it was 490 pages. I'm like, wow, okay, this is going to be good. And it was just because of that descriptive thing that the author took a long time to describe every little thing in this location. And for some people who don't read a lot, that can be a massive turnoff. But for me,
Mhm.
I love it because I grew up reading fantasy. I grew up reading Stephen King, 800 to 1,000 pages. It
Yep.
does not bother me. But yeah, I always like to ask that question because we have a lot of different people that listen to this podcast or watch it on YouTube. Some of them may be like, okay, I really want to read Fakara, but they might not have the attention span or be into reading super descriptive titles. So that's why we asked the question.
Yeah, well, it is a big book. I mean, I did debate for a long time whether to split it into a trilogy. I was recommended against doing that, so I didn't. But yeah, definitely story driven, and it's
Awesome.
pretty fast paced as well. So
And
Okay.
with your like I guess world building process, like do you create a character and build a world around them, or do you do it the other way where you build a world and then throw a character into it?
uh, I do it the other way. Usually, my stories are very setting driven. It's almost
Right.
like the setting is its own character.
Okay.
Um, when I get an idea for a story, usually it starts with a setting, and like I get this idea for this far off place. Like, well,
Yeah.
why is it like that? What would be the problems, in this place, and what would the people be doing? And then, eventually a character occurs to me.
Yeah.
So very much the latter on that.
Mm.
And it was even more so the case with my first book, Icewind, which the setting is really, really far out there. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, setting driven.
So in saying that, in when you say that, your setting is essentially like that's a really good way to describe it. Essentially, a character and story. Do you when you write, um, and it can be for either example, for Icewind or for Fakara, do you tend to keep your story set in, you know, one or two locations? And when I say locations, I don't mean like in space. I mean maybe different planets or different ships or whatever that may be. Or do you tend to utilize a lot of different locations for those stories to occur?
I utilize a lot of different locations. But with the case of both Icewind and Falcata, they're both tied together in one big location that all share a common theme or a common situation or something like that. Because there's a lot of different places in the galaxy that the Ark and Falcata ends up going to. Um, but you're still at the Ark, so I mean, there's that. So
Okay. Excellent. Did you want to tell us a little bit? I mean, I bought both of them. Did you want to tell us a little bit about Icewind as well? So
yeah.
if there are some readers that buy Falcata and go, wow, I really want to have read something else, they can
Mhm.
obviously go and buy Icewind. But do you want to give us a bit of a synopsis of what that's involved?
Yeah, definitely. So Icewind is basically the premise of, um, theoretical physics says that 30, billions of years in the future, gravity is going to start pulling everything back in together in the universe once it stops expanding from the Big Bang. So everything is going to crunch back together, and black holes are going to start consuming everything. Um, so the central idea behind it is, what if somebody was there to see that happen? And the main character for Icewind is actually a theoretical physicist in the year, 2974. And the solar system has become very overpopulated. There's resource constraints. There's war that's about to break out. There's all kinds of factions kind of trying to overthrow the super corporation that basically governs everything. And the main character, Mark, is he's a theoretical physicist who's basically charged with developing multi-dimensional space travel, so they can actually expand out from the solar system and you know try and relieve a lot of stress that society is really in. But because of the tensions and because of everything going on, the tests are accelerated, things go wrong, and time and space is manipulated to a point where he is he sent 35 billion years into the future to basically the universe when it is in its last throes and it's being consumed by the last of the black holes. And he finds that, wait a minute. Well, it takes him a while to really figure out what happened, but he finds that there's other people there too. He's like, wait a minute, how are there people here? And then he has to figure that out. And so it's very much an Alice, Alice in Wonderland type of story, in a
Okay.
very bizarre sci-fi setting. Because he's got to figure out what's going on, and he has to figure out how to fix it and
Mm.
get back, and that sort of thing. But that's Icewind. And just a disclaimer, I'll throw this out there. I actually back in November, Icewind actually was recognized and won 2 awards
Wow.
with Inspire Tomorrow Media. So it was Editor's Choice Award and Debut Novel. So I'm super proud of that. So
Yeah.
Well, I really like this cover. Um,
Yeah.
like what's going on there? Like, like I'm just drawn to every little thing. Like, is this another cover that your publisher put together, or
yes, yeah,
yeah,
this is another one that the publisher put together.
like how did you like describe that like to them?
Well, I told
Uh,
them that some of the themes of Icewind is just
yeah,
how tiny and
yeah,
insignificant humans are with the forces of the universe and everything like
mm,
that. So I wanted that represented in some way,
yeah,
and this is I wanted something like huge in the sky to represent the black hole.
yeah.
This gives, and I didn't really give them a lot of
Wow.
description or
Yeah,
ideas because I didn't really know. And they came back with this, and I really, really loved it.
yeah. It's phenomenal. Um, even I might read this one before the other one. You know, just if a cover grabs me, I'll be like, give me a look at that. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what are you working on at the moment? Are there sequels? Do you write series or you standalones?
So I have not written any sequels, but I do have plans. I think Icewind is a pretty close book. I don't think there's going to be any sequels to that. I do have ideas for sequels and parallel novels. There's a lot I could
Yeah.
do with the Falcata universe, so that's kind of in my mind right now. My next project, I finished writing some time ago, and it's another really big book, and I'm in the final stages of editing it. It's called Velvet Rain. And I'm hoping to start pitching that here in the next few months to agents and publishers.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. Um, and so Velvet Rain is almost like it's like a parody of conflict in modern Africa, but it's set on like a far off colony world of Earth. And there's warring factions, there's resource people are trying to fight each other for the resources that the planet has. It's a very complex story. And there's a lot of moving parts to that one. I'm really excited about it. So stay tuned with that.
Amazing. Before we jump into our crazy game that everyone loves so much, we always like to ask our guests advice for anyone who's listening that may want to get into writing. Whether it's a piece of advice you would tell your younger self or just something you've learned along the way. What's a piece of advice you'd like to share?
I've got 2 things. So one is ignore the naysayers.
Mhm.
So people are going to tell you that your writing's terrible. They're not interested. And I think along those lines, if people are just genuinely not going to care, don't let that really deter you.
Mm,
Keep writing, keep doing it because you love to do it. And if you genuinely love to do it, just keep at it. And then the other thing is build a system and stick to it because writing a book is very, very hard. And keep a message and structuring a story that is, novel size
yeah,
is something that not a lot of people can do because maintaining
yeah,
focus over that period of time is difficult. And it takes me years to write my books. But having a system and sticking to that and just doing it every single day, and you'd be surprised how quickly you can knock out a very big project.
yeah.
So,
Um, I am working towards that. I write short books, but they're
mm,
progressively getting longer. So it's like you got to keep keep at it, and learn as you go, pretty much.
yeah, I write 500 words a day. no more, no less. Like,
Wow.
because I have to write at least 500 because that's
Yeah.
my quota. But if I want to write more, I stop myself
Yeah.
because that gets me excited to come back and write the next day.
Oh,
And it's just amazing how quickly that 500
yeah.
words adds up.
Yeah.
Because I wrote Velvet Rain, the entire first draft, I wrote in 14 months. It's a
Wow.
245,000 word manuscript.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
um, it goes by quick, a lot quicker than you
Yeah.
would think, as long as you stick to the system that you've created.
Yeah. I think that'd kill me, like getting to 500. Like, is it? Do you have leeway? Like if you're, do you stop if you're halfway through a sentence, or is it
Oh
like?
no, no, I finished the sentence. Like, yeah, that's a little excessive.
Yeah.
But yeah, like with 5, 10 words to 500
Yeah.
words, I stop.
Yeah.
So
Good. Awesome.
yeah.
And look, there are people that will primarily just read the massive novels, like as we call them, like Jamie and I call them the fantasy books, the tomes, because they're like 500, 600
Yeah.
pages. And there are some, but you know what? There are some people who will only read the novellas. Like I love both, so I'm kind of the oddity. I will happily read, a 4, 5, 600 page book. But you know what? If I want something quick and easy, I'll read a novella, which might only be 150 pages, and I can get that done in 3 nights or 2 nights. How I do my reading is I read 2 books at a time. So one night I will read one book, and then the next night I'll read the other book, and I'll just go back and forth until I finish them both. So I generally read one fantasy, which is big book, and one horror, which 90% of are under 250 pages. So yeah, look, there's readers out there who love. We don't get a lot of people on this podcast that write the big books, and I'm excited when we do because I'm all for that kind of commitment into that world. So
Mm.
It,
definitely works.
it's my curse. Like I don't know what it is, but I can't write a small book. I mean, I've got these ideas and I have to write, and I get carried. I don't know if carried away is the right word, but like I know what kind of story I want to tell,
Mm.
and I go for it, and it ends up being a really big book. So I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to start splitting them into series. So yeah, we'll see. That's probably what's gonna happen with Velvet Rain. So
Excellent. All right. Are you ready to play a game?
yeah, let's play a game.
Okay. For those who may not know, the game is called Story Pitch. We have a setting, a genre, a main character's profession, and a crazy addition. Luke is going to give us a number between 1 and 12 for each of these categories, and me and Ryan have access to a graph where those numbers correlate to something. And then Luke is going to pitch us a story. It can be as in-depth or as vague as you want, because sometimes it gets a little crazy. Last time was hilarious. Not many things lined up, but there's 2 rounds. So the first round's the practice round, we like to call it. So when you're ready, Luke, 4 numbers between 1 and 12, and yes, you can double up. So you could go 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 if you wanted to, but
No, that's boring. I'm
it's
not gonna do
boring,
that.
yeah.
So for setting, I'll do 3.
Yes.
Genre, I will do 11. Main character's profession, I'm gonna do 6. And then crazy addition, I'm gonna do 7.
All right.
Okay. Well,
So your setting is the zoo.
Okay.
okay. Your genre is steampunk,
Hmm. Your main character is a historian.
and your crazy addition, which is someone or something that must occur at least once in the story, and yours is an M. Night Shyamalan plot twist. So a massive plot twist somewhere in the story.
Are you looking for a log line? So like 2 sentences?
Oh, it's a
Or
pitch. It's a pitch. You can do
yeah.
whatever you know.
Okay.
I mean, we've had
Yeah, so
people act them out before, but
let,
we like to think it's like you're standing in the room. There's a publisher there.
Yeah.
Pitch us your story essentially. So
Okay. So I got a story. Okay. uh this is a weird combination. The steampunk thing is like just throwing everything out.
just
Okay,
make the
so
animals steampunky.
Okay, so okay, so we got I got you a story, Mr. Publisher, about a historian that gets lost at a zoo after his hot air balloon airship crashes into San Diego Zoo, which is by the year 1855 when suddenly steam is everywhere and they have steam powered animals that he wants to go look at. And the whole reason he's there is because he was trying to find his way home, but he got lost in San Diego for some reason. He's still trying to figure out why. But three-quarters of the way through the story, he finds out that he's actually a steam-powered robot, just like the animals he went to go see. Uh,
Okay.
how's that?
That's
That,
perfect. That's actually perfect.
Okay, because I was thinking like M. Night Shyamalan twist. I'm like, because you immediately think of The Sixth Sense, and it's
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
well, what everybody's expecting.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's also like one of his better twists too. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah.
definitely.
No, that works. That
I like
works.
it.
All right.
Uh,
Okay.
your next book is sorted.
And I was going to say, even though it's not the genre's not sci-fi, the zoo could have been in space as well. So we could work it that way. You know, being
A space
sort of
zoo.
why, yeah, sort of winding into the genre that you do, even though it's not really.
But then you wouldn't get a hot air balloon, Ryan.
Yeah,
Exactly. No.
steampunk is such an oddball. You know, like
Yeah.
you could take steampunk in so many different directions. Uh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna do this again? You
Yeah,
can do another
round
one.
two. Round two
Okay,
to bring it home. You
round
can
two.
give us new numbers or the same numbers. It's a different graph, so it'll be different, but it's
Okay. So setting, I'll do 12. Genre, I'll do 5. Profession, I'll do 9.
Mhm.
And then Crazy Edition, I'll do 2.
Oh,
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
Well, two of those kind of work together.
Okay. Well, your setting is the Sahara Desert.
Okay.
Your genre is children's literature.
Oh no.
Kids lit.
So
Um,
it's not really like, you know, really super young kids. It
no, you
it
can
can be like young adult kind of thing as
Okay,
well.
young adult. Okay,
you can
gotcha.
interpret it in any way you want.
All right.
Okay, your main character is a door-to-door salesman.
That seems to be one of our more popular ones. We
I'll have
get
to
that one a
start.
lot.
I'll have to start rotating it. Um,
And your crazy edition, which is someone or something that must appear in the story, even if it's just for 5 seconds, is a sentient cactus. So you've got the Sahara Desert, sentient cactus, that kind
that
of
kind of
works.
works. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm. Yeah. So it's set in the Sahara Desert. Your genre is kids lit. Your main character is a door-to-door salesman, and you've got to have a sentient cactus. This one is a bit random.
Wow. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So Billy is a freshman in high school and he needs a summer job. So desperate because nobody will hire him due to his past drug issues, he is forced to become a door-to-door salesman. And because of his past drug issues, he finds himself in the Sahara Desert for God knows why. He's not even know. He doesn't know. And unfortunately for him, he is caught neck deep in a love triangle between his ex-girlfriend that tells him to stop calling or she will call the police, and also a sentient cactus that for some reason is following him across the Sahara Desert.
Oh my gosh,
Nice,
that's so good.
nice.
Brilliant. Signed off. Three
Yeah.
book deal.
Well, good.
No, only if you want to. If you're having fun, I don't mind doing another round. It's completely up to you.
All right, let's do one more. That one
Okay,
was good.
we'll go.
I think the second one was definitely better than the first.
Do you want to do graph one or graph two? We'll let you choose.
Uh, let's do graph two.
Graph two. Okay, we'll stay on graph two. Um,
Okay.
all
I'm
right.
trying to remember the numbers that I picked so I don't pick the same numbers again.
Well, we'll let you know if you double up.
Okay. Okay, so I'll do setting 10,
Yep.
genre 8, main
Okay.
character's confession, I'll do 1, and then crazy addition, I'll do 12.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So your setting is a local book club.
Okay.
And your genre was that 8, was it?
Yes.
So the genre is grim dark fantasy.
Oh.
At a book club. Um. Uh-oh. Yeah. Give us a different number. For my main character because it has doubled up.
Okay. 3.
Yeah. Okay. Your main character's a janitor.
Okay.
And your crazy addition, which is something or someone that must have been in the story, even if it's for 5 seconds, are Jaegers, which are the giant robots from the Pacific Rim movies.
What?
So
Oh man.
you've got a grimdark fantasy set in the book club. Your main character's a janitor, and it's got to have giant robots from Pacific Rim. Are you glad
Wow,
you
how
played
is this
again?
movie? Uh, hmm. Okay. Hmm. Oh, the Jaeger is throwing everything off.
It
Oh
technically only
man.
has to be there for 5 seconds. It can just
They
walk
tend,
by if
they
you
tend
want.
to do, they tend to ruin everyone's day.
That's what the crazy edition's for.
Yeah, yeah. That's a crazy one. Uh, okay. Okay, so so Vlad has left his life as a vampire behind, and he has taken the rather unassuming name of John because he wants to fit in his local club. Uh, since he has been a vampire for the last 3,000 years, and knows only, the art of seducing people and sucking their blood. He doesn't have very much in terms of job prospects or experience, so he's forced to take a job as a local janitor. But lo and behold, when the dragon comes out of nowhere and attacks his city, he somehow is able to muster some job experience and from his past life and suddenly finds himself able to pilot the Jaeger, which is the only thing that can stop the city from being destroyed by the dragon. Uh, it's not as good as the other one, but yeah. Well, man, the Jaeger was hard. I kind of lost my way there halfway through there, but oh well.
Well, there you go. Thank you for playing. It was
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was good.
it's a lot of fun, and for our listeners, we do multi-author episodes of these. We've got a third one coming out very soon. We're recording it at time of recording. We're recording it in about a week, so keep an eye out for them. But Luke, thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So
Yeah.
the last thing we do is give you the floor to plug what you want to plug. Tell our listeners where they can stay up to date with what you're doing. Anything you want to plug, the floor's yours.
Yeah, so big things hopefully to come. So I'm really kind of ramping up what I'm doing with Falcata. I've got some more projects on the back burner. I was informed this week that Falcata has actually been shortlisted to the 2026 Hawthorne Prize. So that was insane to get that. So they announced the finalists this weekend, so I'm crossing my fingers there. But yeah, if you like science fiction, if you like really big world building, big high concepts, things like just very gritty, rich science fiction, definitely check out either Icewind or Falcata. So, but yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciated it. And I had a good time.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
So, guys, I'll leave all of Luke's links down in the show note. Probably go through that so you don't end up hanging out with Owen Wilson's brother. Until next time, guys, if you want to reach out, thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com, please check out our sponsors, Rebecca Kearsells, our honorary sponsors, Janelle Schiecke and Alexander Robb. All their links are down below. Buy Ryan's shirt. We don't plug it enough. There's some great merch there. If you want to join our Discord, where a lot of the magic's happening, it's where we're primarily organizing all our multi-author episodes in there. Just reach out, we'll give you the link. And until next time, keep supporting those indie authors, and we'll catch you on the next episode.